Hi everybody, this is internal and external communication for my school, Dutch Clark Digital. So the internal groups within Dutch Clark Digital are the students, the teachers, staff, administration, and the school board. There are different types of communication that does happen between these different groups. With these students, we typically see oral and digital communication. Dutch Clark Digital is an online school, so a lot of the communication that we have with our students does happen digitally. Oral communication happens when they come in for one-on-one help. We do have some live class options, and we also do have, we'll meet one-on-one and talk to each other that way. The digital communication for our students is interacting with our online platforms and online curriculums. With the teachers, we have oral and digital communication as well with the learning platforms, at meetings, whatever it may be. For this entire staff, oral, digital, and written, we have the oral communication at staff meetings. We have digital communication over our learning platforms as well as email, and we also have written communication that goes back and forth between teachers as we go about our day. Same with administration, oral, written, and digital. And with the school board, we look at oral and written communication, whether it is the school board writing something to us in the form of policies or procedures, or if it's us writing concerns or accomplishments about our students to the school board. We can also go to the school board meetings and have the opportunity to speak with the school board. With internal groups, all of them at the very minimum require oral communication. It is important that these groups work together for the betterment of the school and for the betterment of students. And the easiest and most effective way for that to happen is through oral communication, where you can have two-way communication back and forth and understanding in real time. So how to communicate internally. Internal groups are groups of people that work within the organization. That's why we're looking at students, teachers, staff, the administration, and also the school board. So there's always going to be continuous two-way communication, no matter which group it is that are communicating with each other. Those groups are going to have two-way communication all the time. There's verbal communication, there's email communication. We do see a lot of this, but the key thing is that you have to have continuous two-way communication. Everybody needs to be on the same page, and I think at our school we do a pretty good job of that. We do have a once-a-week meeting that happens on Monday mornings, and it's a way that we can bring up concerns from the previous week. It's something that we can use as a way to set up the events for the week. So there's a lot of communication, a lot of oral communication that happens at our school, and then we take the information that we get at the Monday meeting and we will pass it on to our students on a need-to-know basis, so that they are in understanding of what's coming up as well. So typically, what do these internal groups communicate about? I think the biggest one is current and future success and well-being of each student and each adult within the school. We are constantly looking at data. We're constantly communicating about what has worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, how do we reach a kid and when it's hard. And we are always at the root of it is the success and well-being of every student and every adult within our building. One of our big mottos at Dutch Clark Digital is every student, every opportunity, every day. And so we are constantly looking for ways to better our students and better ourselves at the same time. The next topic that is communicated about a lot with these internal groups is supporting school improvement. That goes towards academic improvement, that goes towards improvement toward the school and itself as far as a physical improvement. We have like I said, we're an online online school, and so we have non-traditional classrooms, and how it is that we're improving the settings that kids are in, and how that again is going to tie back to the success of every student. And so we went through and we got rid of 90% of the desks that are in our school, and we changed to where we have more of a college campus style, to where we have couches and we have bean bags and we have cafe tables, and we have these different ways to make students feel comfortable to reach their success, and that came through school improvement. And then we also are going to advocate for the needs of school and community. This is another big thing. How do we meet the needs of our students, and how are we making sure that we are continuing to improve every day? The area that's needing more communication, I think, is engaging families, diverse community members, and school personnel to strengthen student learning. I think we do a decent job of this. I think, though, at times we are more concerned with how it is that we are going to find success for students inside school, when the reality of it is that by bringing in more families and more community members into the school to build relationships with staff and students, I think it'll be an equal opportunity for student success. And so I think this is definitely a spot that we can spend a little bit more time on. It is a little bit different for our school being online, trying to set up some of these different things. This year we did dabble in live streaming some of these events for families that weren't able to come in. So I think it is an area that we're working on, and it is something that we will continue to work on in the coming years. Moving on to external groups. The external groups are parents, the businesses that we work with, faith-based organizations, and the other Pueblo School District 60 community members. Again, then these types of communications happen in different ways. For parents, you do have oral communication, where we are constantly in contact with parents, letting them know about how their student is doing, and if they need any help here at school or anything like that. There's phone calls that happen. We communicate with them digitally, to where they will actually get emails from our learning platforms that'll help them understand the amount of work that their child is doing. And there's also written communication that goes back and forth between teachers, parents, and administration. The businesses that we work with, we are branching out to different businesses in the community. This year we did a Working in Pueblo series, and we brought people from around the city in to talk to students about the different career opportunities within certain fields and certain businesses. So the main communication that happens between us and the businesses are oral communication, where we are confirming back and forth what we need to do, and the possibility of setting up internships for kids, and also digital communication back and forth. The faith-based organizations that we do have FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, that will come by the school every once in a while. The communication between us and those groups are typically oral and digital communication. And then with the other Pueblo School District 60 community members, it is written and digital communication. We do have the Blackboard system that will send out messages via email or phone calls. It's a recorded phone call that's sent out to community members about upcoming events. We did recently pass a bond that's allowing some new schools to be built, and so we're getting information out using the Blackboard system about the new schools, and if community members want to serve on different committees dealing with some of these new schools, that's where the information starts to come from. And then you also have written communication that happens with the newspapers, or if we send out letters to the community members, whatever it may be. The digital communication is the most common used type of communication with external groups. Messages get out to these groups via social media or email, for example. And so we do, as a school and as a district, we do utilize social media quite a bit to get a lot of our messages out. And it has been pretty successful for us in the past. The external groups are groups of people that are working outside of the organization. That's why we are looking at the parents. They're not in the school. Businesses, faith-based organizations, or community members, they aren't always in the school, so they are external groups. They don't require two-way communication all the time. A lot of times you have informational emails or memos that'll go out. There's quick verbal updates. But a lot of, like we said, a lot of it is digital, to where it's a blast of information that's getting sent out to people so that they're able to see what's going on and have a constant reminder of that. Typically, these external groups are talking about engaging families and community members to strengthen student learning and supporting school improvement. When you look at the different businesses, we're looking at engaging these people into the school, these community members, to strengthen our learning for our students. And then when we have our community groups supporting school improvements as far as building new schools and serving on committees to oversee different processes with these new schools. The areas that need a little bit more communication, I believe, are the current and future success and well-being of every student, and advocating for the school, for the needs of the school and the community. I think these are two areas that we lack in a little bit, but there is definitely some room to grow. Here are the references, and thank you guys, and we'll talk to you guys next time.